Hello, everyone. In this session, I'm going to speak about the process for establishing event objectives and evaluation needs. My name is Nicola Kastner, and I am the founder of the Event Strategist. It's a small consulting firm that offers services to help companies optimize their event investments to drive maximum impact for both the host organization as well as attendees. I've held various roles on both the brand and agency sides of the business, including most recently as the Global Vice President of Event Marketing Strategy for SAP, where I was responsible for designing and optimizing event strategies for events ranging in size from 25 people to 25,000 people. This QR code will take you to my LinkedIn profile, and I'd love to connect as I regularly share content about event strategy. One of the things I speak about often is the difference between the events business and the business of events, because there is a fundamental difference. The events business view focuses on event planning, logistics, budgets, and efficiency, all of which are essential for successful events. The business of events perspective is about understanding that every event is meant to deliver a business result. It goes beyond the surface to dive deep into business goals, attendee needs, and the purposeful shaping of event design to achieve desired outcomes. In other words, strategy drives logistics, not the other way around. According to research reported by the ROI Institute, only 1% of events are evaluated to determine if they meet expectations. That means that more than 99% of event professionals cannot answer the simple question, what is the value of your event to your business? So my goal today is to ensure that those watching don't fall into that 99% bucket. This is a framework I've used throughout my career to ensure a results-based approach to the design of events, and it consists of 5 steps. 1, establish event objectives and evaluation needs. 2, identify all stakeholder needs, and that means all stakeholders, not just executives at your companies or people that own the budget, but your attendees, all of the different types of attendee groups that you have, including your sponsors. 3, design the right experience. 4, measure what matters. 5, communicate and use the results. Unfortunately, I only have time to cover the first one today, but if you're interested in learning more, there's a whole post series on LinkedIn where I dive deep into each of these steps. So let's get started. When business impact is desired, events must begin with a clear focus on the outcome. Knowing what you want to achieve from the beginning and being accountable to those results ensures that you focus on the right areas through the planning process. How can you be successful if you don't know what success looks like? The first step in this process is ensuring business stakeholders clearly articulate their objectives. Sometimes they don't even know themselves, which makes it even more complicated. In my experience, many people shy away from these conversations because they're uncomfortable if the conversation gets beyond the surface level. But once again, I reiterate, how can you be successful if you don't know what you're trying to achieve? Business objectives have to drive event objectives. If there's not alignment between what your organization needs to accomplish and what the event needs to accomplish, the simple fact is the event will not drive value for your organization. These are the type of questions you should be asking your stakeholders. Questions like, what does the business need to achieve with this event? How will we know if we've been successful? What are the targets we need to achieve? Who are the target audience? And what are their needs or challenges? Understanding these gives you the ability to design the right event experience to achieve the goals and design the right measurement program to articulate event success or opportunities for improvement. Today, I'm focusing my content on external events, and the event objectives typically fall into one of 5 categories for these type of events. Of course, internal events have their own objective categories as well. First is brand and perception objectives, which focus on the impact of the event on an attendee's sentiment towards the company as well as the event. Sales impact objectives focus on the impact of the event in accelerating opportunities or generating new ones. Engagement objectives are focused on who you want at the event and what you want them to do while they're there. Financial performance objectives are focused on the financial performance of the event, including external revenue and corporate contribution. And event performance objectives are focused on key components of the event. Many of these have individual supporting strategies in areas such as audience acquisition, content performance, sustainability, PR and social activity, and sponsorship performance. And when defining objectives, it's critical to ensure they're SMART. specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. I'm sure you all have heard of this before. If you haven't, just a quick Google search will give you more details. Let me give you an example of this. These were some objectives a client of mine once put together. Position and reinforce XX, which is the company, as an innovative company, which falls into the brand and perception objective. 2, a strategic activity for closing in Q1, which is obviously a sales impact objective. Opportunity for acceleration and expansion of Q2 deals, sales impact objective. The event is mostly a demand generation event in Q2, Q3, and Q4, sales impact objective, and focus on specific audiences. I will give them credit because they did try to articulate some objectives, but they definitely did not adhere to the SMART framework. They were not specific, nor measurable, nor timely. So we worked together to refine them. In the essence of saving time, I'm only going to focus on objective number 5 that they had set, which was to focus on several specific audiences. This is what we came up with. We defined that to be successful, they needed 3,200 unique attendees to attend the event. This particular event was a 3-day free event. They also knew they needed to achieve specific attendee ratios as outlined on the slide. You can see very clearly for this particular objective what success looked like and exactly what they needed to measure to determine if in fact they did achieve the objectives that they had set out. It's also important to understand there are 2 types of metrics. Success metrics help you determine if the event was a success based on the objectives you set out to achieve. Diagnostic metrics that help answer the why. Why did something work or not, and what should you repeat and or change in the future? Both are important when measuring the success of your events. However, the people you share them with are different. Your executives care about the success metrics and if the goals were achieved, and if not, why. The diagnostic metrics are for the teams who are working on the event to understand what happened and what adjustments need to be made in the future. These are much more detailed. This chart is a high-level overview of some of the most important metrics to measure to evaluate the performance of each of the objective categories. It's not unusual to have success objectives across each category, and in many cases, several per category. As you can see on the left, this chart indicates which metrics are success metrics and which are diagnostic. If you'd like a downloadable copy of this chart, please reach out via LinkedIn and I'll send you a copy. That takes us to the end of my time today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you found this to be a good use of your time. Please reach out if you have any questions. Thanks again.